Hello and welcome, everybody. Hi. Hi. I'm hoping that the world can hear us. The world cannot hear you lot. Well, it's for the best. Oh dear. Hold. Hold. Oh god. Oh, I've eaten dinner too quick. Oh, help. How do I make this work? I click on that. There we go. Right. If you lot can make some beautiful noises.
La la la.
Hello.
I expect you can now be heard by the whole.
Yes, we can be heard.
The whole world. We'll have some celebratory quacks. There we go. We are set. Hello, hi. I'm DM Dan. We are the Explorers of Elsewhere, and this is live. If you couldn't tell, we have returned to play some more Tales from Elsewhere, which is a cheeky little name I've given to our Daggerheart campaign. This is our third live episode. We're coming up to the end of our first tale, and so far you lot have you've done some talking, you've done some spelunking through a pretty glowy cave, and you've
and some twatting.
Yes, you did some whoppy boppy, stab and choppy. Yeah, you did some fighting. You're looking for some researchers. You found the researchers. Hurrah!
Job's a good one.
Job's a good one. You've also theoretically completed the side objective, which was to find a missing Croak.
Oh yeah.
Which is arguably the more important. Oh, that music just ended very abruptly. Yes, arguably the much more important objective of finding this missing Croak. So, yeah, I mean, job's good. We can all go home now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hope so. That's Cal's plan. Cal's gonna just walk out. Let's go.
See, it'll be fine.
Do we know how to get out?
Well,
We can, kind of, maybe.
I've just discovered, hold everyone, that I've ballsed up the audio. Hold! Hold! Right. So if I do a little bit of this, and I click OK, and then I do a little bit of this, and I click there, and then I click that, and then I click here, and then I click there, and I click. This is the truth of live streaming. Right, if everyone can say hello, and we'll do some test quacks.
What?
Hello.
Hello.
Right, do we have test quacks?
Quack.
I think we have test quacks. Okay, I think we're good. Cool. So yes, you've done some stuff and some things in a place, and I reckon it's high time for us to whip straight back to see what comes next, which is, just pack up and go home. Who's ready for it?
Yeah.
Well, first, let's have a title screen. All across the unknown world, rediscovery pushes ever onwards to find the lands and people lost. All thanks to our brave explorers.
Hi, I'm Nate, and I'm playing Azakar and the Jarni Seraph.
Hi, I'm Dan, and I'm playing Vanya, the Wolfkin Warrior.
Hey, I'm Livvy. I'm going to be playing Rayri, the Spirit Ranger.
Hi, my name's Theo and I'm playing Cal, Sangavar Guardian.
And my name is DM Dan. I'll be the GM in these adventures. The further we go, the more we learn of these magical tales from elsewhere. And so, we return you lot to a rather peculiar location. Having been tasked with finding some a lost researcher team from the by the instruction of the pupils of one of the explorer expedition outposts, New Prosper, you have delved into an impossibly large crystalline tower-like structure which dominates the nearby landscape, surrounded by a forest of crystalline petrified trees, and walking through the almost liquid-like front door, which come portal, you've found yourself in some strange kind of crystal caves somewhere within the tower's structure. And as you've gone exploring, you've discovered that, quite worryingly, there are what appear to be pools of coalesced mana, which those of you who've had kind of prior experience with mana, you have noticed that implies an extremely high concentration of, in this case, arcane mana, for something that is inherently ephemeral and like invisible to the eye, to be gathered in such quantities as to almost form a liquid of sorts. You've fought what appears to have been a number of pseudo-sentient mana blobs, like coalesced mana, and you've pressed on through the caves, finding an area which appears to be overgrown with greenery, with vines and plants, only to find on a rock in the middle of a small pool, surrounded by what appears to be an almost like a bewitching, shimmering green glow. You found the research team, accompanied by a curious little Croak, who Vanier has immediately jumped into, like, check on, only to find that this Croak spoke back.
Yeah.
You've also been introduced to the lady that appears to be the research team's leader, a Laravar woman called Tree, and she has very excitedly kind of shaken all of your hands with much vigour, and informed you that she's very glad you're here. But to the pressing matter at hand, Vanier, you peer down at this Croak that's peering up at you. And this Croak has its little kind of webbed, fingery hands on its slightly slimy hips. And it looks to you and again repeats, "Are you here to save us, sir?"
We have indeed. We probably should start making a move soon. Don't think we want to stick around too long, knowing what we've just faced.
Ah, very good, it says. And then it sort of like peers round you, looks at the other three explorers, like your fellow explorers. And for the other three of you, who are still kind of stood a little way away from the rock that the other researchers are sheltering on, what do you make of the whole scenario as we zoom out on this beautifully crafted Birdie Maps map?
Obviously, we've been introduced to Tree.
Yes.
And the little Croak we've noticed talking. How are the other researchers looking?
So the other four researchers, they fundamentally just look, well, first and foremost, they look a bit tired. They look a bit tired. They look, actually, it is just tiredness. Like you can see that there's like large kind of heavy rings, like bags hanging under their eyes, but otherwise they don't look like a group of people that have been kind of lost with relatively few provisions for a week and a half, as you would expect them to be. They, for example, look quite well fed. And glancing around, Azakar, you notice that on some of these kind of roots that are bursting through the ceiling, kind of wrapping down the walls, you can, and like on bushes on the rock that they're kind of huddled on, you can see what appear to be like relatively kind of like fist-sized berry-like fruit just hanging. And you, in actual fact, you can notice like on the floor by the side of this Crowick that Vanier's kind of squatting down to talk to, you can see what appears to be like one of these half-eaten berries.
Azakar's going to actually side up to Cal, and he's going to just sort of lean into him and go like, I do not believe these berries have done these researchers any good. I think we must be quick with getting them out here and getting some sort of medical help. Something, if anything, is growing in here. Is obviously having a negative impact on them.
What do you make of that, Cal?
I think Cal, he'll frown. Like, he's a man who frowns quite a lot.
Yeah.
But if anything, his brow is a lot more furrowed than normal. Is he okay to collect this half-eaten berry? He's not going to eat it, obviously, and he doesn't have the knowledge himself to study it, but he might pocket it in some sort of pouch. It might be useful at some point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, yeah, you, like, as you kind of make your way across the water to kind of join Vanier, like, as you stoop down to pick up the berry, the Lorivar woman, Tree, she looks to you and says, oh, if you get the chance, you should really try. It's actually quite delicious, and it's such a curious thing to have just sprouted here. It was a very strange set of circumstances, she says.
Have all of you been eating this?
Explain.
She, like, the researchers all kind of nod in response, and that's the noise of the Crowick, actually. And yeah, Tree continues. When we were exploring the caves, and everything looked, well, like it does over there, she says, kind of like jabbing a finger in the direction that you've just come from. And we realised that it was almost like the cave was watching us as we were doing taking our readings, and it was when we kind of started interacting with the pools that the cave almost seemed to come to life, almost. But we started heading in this direction. We thought that this area here would provide some kind of security and safety, because we couldn't see. We thought, given it was slightly higher up, that perhaps there wouldn't be any pooled mana here. And we could see flickering lights moving down the corridors after us, and but as these kind of floating, almost like will-o-wisps started heading towards us, clinging to the walls and the ceiling, like floating in our direction, and then all of these roots just burst through the ceiling. They just wrapped around the whole area, and seemingly warded off the elementals. A few of them approached, but they just couldn't seem to pass the threshold, she says, kind of gesturing to the ridge that you climbed up. She kind of looks around again with a look of genuine kind of marvel on her face. I don't know where these roots came from, but frankly, I think they saved us. And then with the roots came all the plants, and you can see all the water's been purified. You can drink it, she says, gesturing to the water, like the pool around them, and over in the corners, which, Vanya, you do notice kind of glows with this like green, almost like bioluminescence. It's perfectly good to drink. And then these berries started fruiting on the bushes around us, and we've been relatively safe and well fed ever since we've been here. Ray, what are you thinking about this tall tale?
I think Ray, who spent a lot of time in nature, is quite interested in these very large berries. I have an ability I would like to use.
Okay.
Which I can speak to plants.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Can I have a little chat with the berries?
With the berries?
Yes. Or the plant that makes the berries.
Okay.
I have to do a thing roll, but
okay.
see if it works.
Yeah, go ahead and make... Does it... So...
It has to be over 12.
Okay, you've got the DC. Okay, yeah. By all means, roll me an instinct. Did you say?
It's an instinct roll.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
On 14 with fear.
Okay.
So I think Riri will kind of pop up, kind of listening to the story, and kind of looking at the berry that Carl has like picked up, kind of gives it a sniff. Vinny gives it a sniff. Yeah, I don't know. It seems all a bit odd, doesn't it? And then she's gonna bend down and just not telling anyone anything what she's doing. Just say, "Hello, little plant. What have you grown here?"
Okay. Everyone else watches, like turns to look as this little Ignan sprite squats down and starts talking, like grabs one of the bush branches and starts like talking to the leaves. And I can only imagine like holding the leaf to your ear just in case it...
Just kind of moving the berry like it's a little face.
Sure. And like the researchers all start kind of like side glancing at one another. Tree is looking at you mesmerized. How peculiar is this for everyone else?
I think from the past, I've made it aware that obviously Azakar and Rayri have worked on jobs before.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Azakar has seen it before, but he's not actually really sure what she's doing. He thinks she's just a little odd and she likes to talk to plants, not actually knowing that the plant is talking back,
Sure.
potentially.
Sure. What about
He
Vanya?
dares not ask.
Well, I think it just says it all when the camera just slightly focuses in the background as Vanya's like cutting some of these berries off and shoving them into his cool bag
Yeah.
as he's heard that they're great, and he's like, "Oh, this will
Maybe
make good food later." As he's just like
shield his
stuffing
eyes.
these-
Cal?
I mean, I think Cal has had a lot of life experience, so I think this isn't probably the first time you've seen someone talk to a tree.
Sure.
I think a little bit like Azakar, he's a bit like they're just a little bit, I think the war did something to but no, he knows, he's obviously seen earth spirits before, so I think he's not unaware that nature has, a life of its own in that way, and that there is such a thing as natural magic. But he doesn't look any different. If anything, he's just like, and that's about it.
Okay. Well, yeah, as everyone kind of regards Rayri, Rayri, you yourself kind of, you've just started talking to this berry, and you wait a moment, and you're kind of, expecting a response. But you don't hear anything back. As you kind of frown, pout a little bit, you notice, like, out the corner of your eye, between two of the researchers, off on the far wall, like, that's currently kind of covered in a sheet of vines and leaves and whatnot. You swear you notice like a slight shift in the tree line, like in the plant life, and you turn to look, and perhaps, like, when you turn to look, you don't see any movement. You see another flicker of movement in your peripheral, and like your head starts spinning as your eyes are just picking up on these bits of movement. But it's when you glance across, like as you're glancing around, your attention is kind of to your left, and when you glance down at the water of the pool that this rock is protruding from, for a fleeting moment, you see the face of what appears to be a young keeper woman with like a floral headband around her forehead, that kind of nestle and kind of wrap round the horns that protrude from her forehead and rise up. And it's tough to tell because of the way that the light is reflecting in this place and off the surface of the water, but she appears to have these almost kind of like milky white eyes. She's wearing, you can only see sort of like the tops of her shoulders in the reflection in the water, but she's wearing what appears to be sort of like robes of green and yellow. And there's a moment when you recognise that the colour, like the hues of those greens and yellows, were the same as the keepers that you met in the forest before you came into the tower. And like all of this happens in a moment, and then you kind of catch the eyes of the reflection, the keeper's face in the water. And there's a look of like a solemn duty in her gaze. And while she doesn't say anything, she just gives you an ever so slight nod. And then the reflection just seems to slightly disappear and kind of disperse across the surface of the water. and you're not 100% sure, but you can swear that while all of this was happening, it almost sounded like someone was playing a violin. Just wispy, airy notes of a stringed instrument that then just kind of disappear into the sounds of the cave once again. And whilst you didn't get a response per se, you do get this feeling that whatever is happening here is a measure of protection. Measured and active protection.
Oh, baby's not talking. And she'll say to Cal, who's next to her, I think it's like, it sounds a bit weird, but I think there's somebody looking after all these people, like a keeper. You know, like the lady, the people we saw before, they were like, oh, don't go in there, like that, like one of those, and they're like protecting everything.
Rayri, give me... Make me a quick knowledge roll.
I'm not very smart. That is my dumpster. Being smart. 11 minus 1. 12. No, 10.
10. With hope. So, we're going to give you the hope.
At least you...
When you rolled fear last time, it was just a complication of you didn't get quite as much knowledge, like info as you did. But you get hope this time. And like, as you're kind of explaining it to everyone, like what you just saw, it's as you say it, and like your mind's racing at, like, trying to remember everything that you just saw a few moments ago. And just an image flashes into your mind. And you realise, that the face of the keeper you saw in the water looked remarkably like the face of the keeper in the statue in New Prosper.
Yeah. Yeah?
With the bear and the horse.
Yeah, I reiterate, like, you know, the one in the village with the bear and the horse and the statue. And she's like...
So we're dealing with ghosts now, as well, potentially.
Spirits, ghosts, protection, I don't know. It's left. Ruby just points to the water that's now got nothing.
Or...
Maybe you should speak to the berry.
I just look very intently at this berry.
Sure.
I don't say
Can you
anything.
See? Can you see?
The more you focus on it, like, you start to notice just the ever so slight kind of sweet scent that it's giving off. And you can't help but feel a little bit of saliva gather in your mouth as it looks really tasty. Looks really plump. It's probably not helped by Vanier just like mass gardening it all in the background.
Just making jam.
No, it's all going in this magical bag for later use.
Yeah. What does, like, based off what Ravi's just said, what's kind of Vanier, or what are you thinking? By the sounds of it, yeah, Ravi just saw
Vanier over here.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
yiffling on.
Yeah.
As he's finished putting the last dairy in his bag, he kind of looks over at Ray and it's like, really? Is there someone in the water we need to save? Hello?
Water, berries, over there.
I look over there. Do I see face?
You don't see face, but
I think we better be getting off. It's not safe for these people. We need to get them back to the town.
I don't understand why they didn't go before. I mean, we didn't have any problem.
So Tree responds, well, I mean, we've kind of been stuck here ever since, like we got chased here by the elementals, and this grove has been sustaining us. But I mean, one of us, she points to one of the law of our man across the way from her. He tried to find the entrance that we came in through, and it seems to have gone. Like the wall was kind of, you could pass through the wall where we arrived from, but it's just solid now. So we've kind of been stranded here. We've been perfectly safe, but we've just not been able to escape. Our Croak friend has made some suggestions, though, and we're not entirely sure that we can, whether or not we should put our faith in the plans of a Croak. She says in a hushed whisper, because you notice that this Croak in the corner is just kind of looking over at you, looking over at her, but you'll if you're gonna get us out first, you'll need to help us find a way out. And the Croak pipes up, well, I've told you, we've got an escape, we just have to figure out how to make it work.
Well, what is this plan?
The Gerpel the Croak looks to you, Vanier, and finally, an individual of forward motion and momentum. Come with me, I'll show you our escape, he says. And he kind of gets up off his rock and splishes into the water, and then starts kind of heading further into the tunnels that you're in. Who's joining Gerpel?
I'm 100% joining.
Yeah, I'm just kind of following the way.
Sure.
Before everyone pops off, I want to just talk to the law of our man, one of the ones that are looking like they're very tired.
Sure.
And just ask him, it's just, you and your party look a little worse for wear compared to your leader. Are you alright?
The law of our man kind of nods and we're alright. Tree here is just an endless source of an endless well of energy, but while we've been relatively well fed here, it's not easy sleeping on wet rocks. We're just I'm just feeling a bit run down. I'm counting down the hours until we can see the sky again.
That will be soon. Don't worry. We'll get you out of here.
Thank you, he says, and kind of claps you on the shoulder.
And Azakar is going to follow the others.
Okay. So, as you kind of jog to catch up with the others, you notice that they're being led by this, Croak through the tunnels. The tunnels and this tunnel is itself just as overgrown as the rest of this kind of grove, such as it is, with the same kind of almost glowing waters to the sides of the, up against the walls, which appears to be kind of nourishing the plant life, it would seem. But there are a number of broken stair bits. You are gaining kind of altitude. You don't know how far up, given that you've got no real context. But the Croak leads you to an opening at the end of the tunnel, and surrounded by a ring of water, you see a circular dais, at the centre of which is what appears to be about 5 foot-ish wide circular crystal, which is currently, it looks like it's, it just looks like coloured glass to look at it as it currently stands. And if I could have a consequenceless knowledge check from all 4 of you.
Sure.
So we got roll of a 13, a roll of a 16, a roll of a 5.
Or as a car.
It's a car like a door.
What are you looking at? What are you looking at? Oh, and a crit.
Got a crit.
Crits.
Oh, baby.
Okay, so everyone except Azakar, and we'll say it's because you can't see, Nate. You recognise that this circle is like this stone dais in the middle of this, at the end of this tunnel, is like a summoning circle, or like a portal circle. It looks kind of similar to the portal that you left Avamore via, but it does look like it's currently deactivated. So the Croak kind of marches onto the dais and just sort of like wraps the slightly kind of raised platform where the mana crystal is, wraps it a couple of times, and if we could just figure out how to what's stopping this from activating, then we can just teleport out of here, he says very matter-of-factly.
Do we know where this leads to?
He looks around. He looks at you for a moment, and whilst this Croak seems rather intelligent, there is a sort of a blank confusion that etches across his face. His eyes, like the eyes that are moving kind of separately from one another, like they keep on like alternating as to which eye is actually looking at you, and then he like turns its head. One eye stays fixed on you, and the other rotates to look at the crystal. And then the Croak says, "Well, no, I don't. But what I do know is that portals allow you to be in one place and then suddenly be somewhere else."
That is usually how they work, yes.
Exactly, says the Croak, and it kind of Gerpel puffs his chest out. How are you all feeling about this Croak talking about portals?
Fabulous. I feel like he's completely normal.
Yeah, I mean, Vanya only knew about portals because he's seen them.
Sure.
And that's as far as the knowledge goes. So if a creature knows about portals, he's obviously intelligent. So, as far as Vanya is concerned, he's like, do you know how to make it work?
I think after meeting the previous set of Croaks,
Yes.
this guy seems a little maybe advanced.
Yes.
For is probably what Rayleigh's thinking. Just a little bit, maybe a little bit more smart about him.
Cal, Cal, you said that you have encountered Croaks in your past, and you know that Croaks, like, if we're talking D&D, Croaks are like intelligence 2. Like, these are creatures that barely have self, like they are floating barely above id level of kind of self-awareness.
Self-aware, they're not intelligent.
Yes.
Yeah, you kind of need. Yeah, I get it. I get where we're going with this. This is weird to Cal. This is very weird to Cal. He knows his intelligence isn't great in some regard. Like, academically, he's not useful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's how he comes across. To have a Croak talk about arcane portals, off-putting. It's kind of weird. I think Cal's reaction to the portal is very much going to be, you do realise that this portal could take us deeper into the tower as well as leaving the tower. If we don't know where it's going, it is quite unsafe to use unless we're able to wield the magic in a way that is to our advantage. I'm not a spellcaster, so I wouldn't be able to tell you how to do that.
Yeah, to take us brilliant, wouldn't it? Why? We could go anywhere. We could appear in like somewhere cool. I don't know why you're so down about it.
I'm not down about it. I'm just concerned that we don't know where it will take us. This is my face, Randy. This is my natural resting face. I'm not necessarily upset. You do understand this.
It's been a long time. You don't have anything other than that face.
Hey, Rary, why don't you ask your ghost friend that you saw earlier?
Well, actually, I can't really see her anymore. And I left the berry, so.
Can you find her?
You find her. Hey. Oh, yeah. Out of interest, Mr. Gerple, is it?
Rash.
Sir Gerple.
Just Gerple.
Oh, just okay. Have you always been, how you are? Have you always been, so smart? Did you go to like Portal University or Gerple University or?
Gerple University.
There is a moment. It's perhaps one of the more unnerving things you've seen in relation to a Croak. But Gerple looks to you, and like you've been used to, like all this time, like Gerple's kind of independent eyes have just been kind of looking at two different things at all different points. But Gerple like looks at you head on, and like both of the eyes, they strain a bit. It's a bit like us going boss-eyed, right? But they strain, and the two eyes turn to look straight forward, both at you, and it's quite an unnerving sight to look at. And like the eyes stay there, and despite like the head itself is sort of like moving ever so slightly as Gerple starts like stroking his wet chin, his dewy chin, but like the eyes just stay focused on you as like his head moves around ever so slightly. Well, I mean, as long as I can remember, I spoke like this. Yes, yeah, I was like this. Yes, I have fond memories of the sea, and my siblings, my spawn mates, and I can fondly remember feasting on the delights of the ocean, And I do remember the last thing that a really bold memory, there was this glowing rock in the water, like a shell. It looked like a shell or something, and I gobbled it up. I just gobbled it up, and then I could, and then I found myself questioning my life choices. You know?
We've all been there.
And I decided in that moment that I needed to see the world. So I left that beach behind and I went travelling, and then I ended up here.
So you were a Croak, you ate magic shell, you learned to comprehend, and then you travelled. Sounds wonderful to me.
Did you come in with the adventuring party, or...?
No, I can't say I've ever seen those 5 in my life. No. I found them here, actually. I do remember I was walking... there was lots of these large kind of hard, glassy-like objects. They looked a bit like the stone that I ate in the water. And then I saw a really, really big one, and then I thought to myself, oh well, I'm just going to... I just wanted to see inside it, you know. I wanted to be in it. So then I was walking around, and it was very dark. You understand? It was a very confusing place. There was a big stone thing. It had a face and it had wings, raw. And then I walked around, and then there was lots of glowy lights, and there was a particular. It looked like a letter. It looked like on the wall, and I don't know why, but I felt compelled to press it, and I pressed it, and then I was here. And that's when I found these. Well, and that's why I know that this portal will take us places, because after I pressed the thing, the letter, the glowing shape, I appeared on this portal, and that's when I found the other 5, the 5 round the corner. So if I came in this way, then I know that I can leave this way.
Ravi looks at Azakar as the magic, or the magic.
I think Azakar's going to feel fairly concerned about the fact that the Croak has mentioned that he's eaten a mana crystal.
Yeah,
Did
Cal's
it
also
taste good?
very concerned that you like crystal.
So, what do you make of our plan? If we can figure out how to make this thing work, make this entrance into an exit, then we can all leave this place. I can go back to the sea and see my siblings. Taste those bountiful ocean goodies. Nothing like some fresh ocean sludge.
GM,
Yes.
question.
Answer.
From this perspective, does it look like the crystal's inert? Like, there's nothing really, like, emanating, like, magically about this circle and this stone at the moment? Like, as though it might be lacking in power? Question mark?
I'm going to ask for anyone who wants to have a look to roll me an instinct roll. And this will be consequenced, so roll if you would like to.
I got an okay instinct. I I guess.
I'm gonna go for it. Why not? I want to have fun.
Yeah.
That's just I was +0.
Sorry,
YOLO!
what is it to look at? Can I just ask what this to look at again?
To figure
crystal.
out what if the crystal, if we can figure out how, why, maybe it works or doesn't. What?
Okay.
Cool.
I'm trying to.
15 with fear, Dan.
Alright.
15 with fear. Okay. Is anyone else joining in?
I was thinking about it, yeah, but I was trying to see if my experiences could be wrangled into this scenario.
Crit.
Oh, you
Crit
Ooh!
for Azaka.
Okay. So Azakar
do
goes
I
up.
even need to try? Maybe I
Az-
pose the question and somehow the people who know what they're doing.
The two daddies in the group start.
Yeah.
Go full DIY mode. So Azakar goes up to 6 hope. Cal, well, both of you. Cal, you notice that the crystal itself, and sort of like there's a crystal in the center. There are the runes of power that encircle it, and the runes on the crystal aren't completely dormant. It seems like there is an ever so like a residual flicker of like life in it, but it's only that. It's a flicker, which is kind of odd because, you know, runic circle, like portal circles like this normally are kind of, you know, self-regulating and so on and so forth to be quite stabilized. But it's, you don't know why the idea kind of flashes into your mind, but you almost get the feeling like the magic that powers this portal is being smothered or throttled. And Azakar, you have a similar idea, but as you kind of close your eyes and kind of focus, use like your innate finer like awareness of mana, thanks to being a Majani. Like you can almost sense the vibrations of magic kind of through your crystal horn. You sense that there is a strong kind of arcane surge that's like, arcane mana is normally kind of explosive. It normally grows, much like the crystals and the mana crystals that you've seen in the forest and whatnot. The direction of movement is usually outwards, but this seems very insular. Like there is some sort of arcane magic stopping this portal from working. And you feel that it's working in contention with another magical force. And Azakar, as you kind of open your eyes and look around, you look at the roots that are growing from the walls, and you notice that they're reaching out across the water, but then it's almost as if they can't push any further towards the portal, as if they're being held at bay.
Can I start just doing like a perimeter of the portal? Just seeing what I can find.
Yeah. Well, so you, like, as you walk around, you notice that, you know, the difference between the pools of water with all the kind of roots in, as the roots and the plant life kind of reach onto the you know, the solid ground, like the stone around the portal circle, you notice that, unlike in the other room where everything seemed quite like verdant, it almost seems kind of like the roots seem dry, brittle, thorny, almost, like it's being kind of tainted, like it's being corrupted almost. But like walking around, you notice. Yeah, I think it's that kind of almost. You can almost see the line where anything that grows past it just seems to be kind of withering and drying and dying.
Any for your thoughts there, Azuko?
There is something preventing this portal from working. There is a. If you look around, you can see the branches, the water. They can't reach onto the shoreline. I believe there's some arcane that is preventing this portal from, obviously, this magic that is happening here, that has protected the researchers. It can't penetrate something here.
Well, it's like what all these roots are dead, probably primal, right? Primal magic. And I don't think arcane and primal magic work well together. So, you know, nasty stuff contaminating roots.
Rayri, given that you were the one that kind of reached out and kind of interacted with whatever has caused these roots to sprout, as Vanier kind of gives his theory, like you kind of look around and like you notice the difference in the natural growths, and the space that you're in, like immediately around the portal, it almost feels sick, like there's an illness, there's a lingering illness here. Because Vanier's right, you know, the culmination of the war, the world spirits used their powers to fight back against the arcane dragons, and that allowed Aya and the divine dragons to imprison the betrayers. So primal magic is its very own thing. But yeah, there's just this malady in the air. Like the longer you stay here, you almost feel like your mouth is starting to dry out. Your bones are starting to feel a bit heavier and creakier the longer you stay here. There's something wrong about the manor in this place.
Yeah, I think she's feeling. Yeah, it's kind of suddenly like dawns on her that she's feeling this kind of sickness and this sort of closeness and heaviness of being in this area, and she just says to the lads, does anyone feel like it's all a bit like there's like sort of like a blight or like a sick, like it just feels like there's something really not right about all of this, like it's a bit sick, like.
I think I know what you mean, but here is a thought, right? So you know when like plant, you get a piece of plant that sort of withers on the that branches off and withers a bit, so you like break it off so that the rest can be healthy, right? Maybe we destroy all of the branchiness here to let the good bits grow, but then that stops whatever is going on here.
Ruby's like,
No?
No, I think it's more that they're sick because something bad is here, rather than that we need to destroy the plant life. I think they're being affected. It's like they're growing in bad soil. So we
But
don't
do you have to?
get rid of the plant, we get rid of the bad soil. It's just
Well,
sort
I
of-
mean,
it's
you
just
look all around us.
doing
It
all
is
of this
a
glowing magic.
giant crystal made of arcana.
Yeah, I don't think it's doing much for the plant life.
Cal, as they're kind of speculating, you have this feeling that they've kind of got it half right, because the roots and the like are growing into the area fine, but it's when they get kind of too close to this portal, to where this bad, stagnant feeling is emanating from, that's what's seemingly spoiling it. Like, the proximity to whatever's happening to this portal is poisoning the plant.
I think Cal will kind of explain this in a Cal way, which is very much, still frowning. I think the portal is what's bad news, or whatever the magic that is currently affecting the portal is bad news. Perhaps we
Oh,
should
so
try
you
and
want me
find a
to
way
smash
to
it?
heal. No, don't smash the crystal. We might need that to leave. However, do any of you have any sort of healing magics we could try on the crystal, maybe?
Just DM.
Mm-hmm.
Have that thing that I picked up. But I don't know what it is.
Oh, the green orb?
Do I feel like this has any bearing on life right now? Now take out the green orb.
You take out the green orb.
Just looking at it, looking at the portal.
So,
What's that you got there?
That's the thing I picked up. Little, the green orb, but we were like, I don't know what it is, I'll just save it for later.
yeah, Ray appears to be holding almost like a polished green, like glass green sphere with an indented golden filigree, like ornate golden filigree banding around its kind of circumference. And like Vanier, to look at it, it reminds you it's a deep, rich, dark green, reminiscent of like some wine bottles you've seen in the taverns of Avermore. That you see the nobles sipping from. And Rayri, the orb itself, it's got this ever so slight kind of internal glimmer about it, and it's reflecting the kind of the bioluminescence from around you. It does strike you that the fact that these are both green is perhaps nothing more than coincidence, so just to draw that line in the sand. But you notice, like, as you get it out, the glimmer seems to be getting almost like repelled away from where the portal is.
Yeah, I think something's sucking in all the energy out of this thing. I think it's like some kind of, I don't know, sinkhole of magic.
Well, going off of what Cal said, Azakar, your divine magic, can it do anything to this to make it, to cure it in any way? like curing a tummy bug. When you've ate something dodgy.
I don't think that's how it works.
Oh.
I can take a look. I can try. I will go up to the big glowing bit in the middle.
Yeah.
I can. Oh, I forgot. I'm gonna roll my prayer dice.
Oh, roll your prayer dice. Yeah.
Roll my prayer dice. We got a 2, and we got a 4.
Hey.
Nice. I'm wondering what I can do.
I mean, someone had mentioned healing it.
So, what I can do. So I do have healing hands. Obviously, that's not really intended for what we're doing here at the moment, but let's have a little flavor flay and see what we can do.
Do it.
So I will do healing hands on the thing, on the glowy bit. It is a spellcaster roll 13. Target a creature other than yourself in melee on a success mark a stress to heal the target 2 hit points. So I have to roll over 13 to do it.
Okay.
Spellcaster roll +2. So that's a 5 and a 3. That is 8 +2. That is
10.
Is 10.
You need to roll a 13 to use like.
Apparently so. It says make a spellcast roll and in brackets 13.
Okay.
And you want to prove something here.
With that, I'm going to use my prayer dice. I'm going to use my 4 prayer dice.
Okay.
To add, to add that to boost it up to a 14. 14 with hope.
Okay.
But obviously, I can't use hope because I can't gain any more hope because I'm full up.
Yeah. You don't have to use hope to use a prayer dice or anything, do you?
No, prayer dice is.
Prayer dice is just it.
Oh, I do have to. Yeah. Okay. So on a success, mark a stress to heal the target 2 hit points or 2 stress. On a failure, mark a stress to heal the target at 1 point or 1 stress.
Okay.
So I'm going to mark off a stress, and that will heal it up for 2 points.
Cool. In which case, as you kind of close your eyes and you mutter like incantations and prayers to Mother Aya, as you place your hands on the on the focusing iris crystal at the center of this portal, you begin to feel that warmth kind of. It almost feels like you can feel the warmth kind of projecting down from the heavens in through your forehead, down through your body, along your arm and through your fingers. And everyone else, you watch as there's an ever so slight kind of glow that emanates from Azakar as he channels this kind of divine energy. And Azakar, you've got your eyes closed as you're focusing, and then curiously, you know how when you close your eyes and you get the flashing kind of lights in the darkness? The flashing lights seem to slow and then reform into an image. And it's an image of what appears to be a room of crafted stone, like a crypt or a temple or something along those lines. And as the flashing lights kind of dance around a bit more, there are 3 kind of motes of light that begin to grow brighter and brighter in your vision. And you hear these almost kind of muffled voices. It sounds like they're underwater and they're distorted and garbled, but you still kind of gain a sense that there's a desperation or a seriousness in their inflections and intonations. And the three shapes coalesce into what appear to be two people wearing robes and hoods with their backs to you. They're speaking to a third in between them, a little bit further away. His robes seem more ornate, but you can tell from the build that he's not the same. He's not the same as them. They kind of give you pangs of perhaps being Asavar, but this central figure, broader shouldered, taller, the ankles seem more upturned, and then suddenly this world of sort of like greys and kind of muted tones suddenly starts to become much more vibrant. Reds, like blood reds, deep purples, and the central figure turns to look over his shoulder, perhaps in response to something that one of the two companions have said. And as the figure turns its head, you notice the telltale profile of the snout of a dragon scent. And as this dragon scent turns to look, it almost seems to notice you peering into the scene. And as the dragon scent turns to regard you fully, you see him wearing what appears to be the regalia of a mage general. You fought against these, you saw wizards wearing these sorts of robes during the war in your time as a prisoner. But as this dragon scent notices you and his face turns into a snarl, you watch as from the tips of his claws up his fingers, flames begin to sprout and emerge, and as the intensity in his eyes builds, so do a pair of fiery wings begins to emerge from his back, seemingly as he begins to swell in power as he swells in fury. And as his stare burrows into you, you feel a sharp snack of pain like surge up your arm and up the right hand side of your head as you kind of pull away from the crystal, and everyone gathered notices that the crystal has now turned a blood red. And as Azakar is kind of launched back from it, it mirrors the colour of your eyes, Cal, before slowly fading back to the green that it once was.
Was that meant to happen?
No.
All of this happened in the matter of seconds.
Azkar, you okay?
Azakar's going to look back at you, Cal, and remember from what he has seen, almost wanting to trust you, but then seeing your blood red eyes and going, I think this portal is a dead end. This will only bring us something worse.
Gerpel's shoulders slump. Well, well, I suppose it was worth a shot, he says, as he looks at you as you kind of pick yourself up as a car. Perhaps we should head back to the others. I can look after them if you want to carry on exploring the caves in case you can find another exit.
Well, let us ask the others how they normally get out.
Well, I think that's their problem. They can't get out.
Yeah, but if they've been here before, they know this place changes. How do they normally get out? Do they just keep exploring until there's another exit?
Well, did you want to head back and ask?
We.
Okay, sure. So, yeah, as you all kind of head back, like as you kind of round the corner and you see the rock jutting from the pool, Tree is sort of like waving at you as you approach. Did you find anything? Like, did you manage to make it work? She shouts out.
No, I believe it is a good idea that we steer clear of it.
She sighs, and like she flaps her lips. Well, we can't leave the way we came.
Question. Have all of you been in this tower before?
This is my second time, yes, but these four of the other four of this is their first time.
Okay. Well, how did you get out last time?
Oh, we went out the way we came in. And that's the problem, because we can't this time, because the wall's not all gooey anymore.
DM,
Yes.
was the wall wobbly when we got in last time? So technically speaking, can we leave the way we came? I cannot remember.
No, it was not.
Okay.
So from what you would have been told by the people of New Prosper, like these research crews kind of go in, go out. They've been drawing, they were drawing the maps, but fundamentally they would just kind of strike in and then exit the way they came. But for whatever reason, these researchers can't. Something has happened that has presumably turned off the entrance for all intents and purposes.
Great.
Well, if we can't go the way we came, then we just find new exit.
Can I show Tree my green orb?
Mm-hmm.
I've still got it in my hand. This is, by the way, I found it. It's one of yours.
Tree
Adventuring.
Tree looks at it, and like her eyes open wide in surprise. No, that's not one of ours. No, that what is that? She says, and she like offers it, like asks if it holds her hands out as if to ask to take it off your hands.
Is it before I give it to you?
I mean, well, something like that is probably magical, but we'd have to inspect it and kind of run some tests to find out exactly what it does.
Well, as long as if it's got stuff that's good in it, it's mine, okay?
She nods. Of course. Yeah, she, like, if you're happy to hand this over to her, she can start like investigation of it. It'll take her a little while, but then she'll be able to figure out roughly about as long as it takes for the GM to figure out what it is.
Good. Gary just. Got my eyes on you though.
Tree sort of like nods, and then you watch as she kind of pulls down the goggles that are on top of her sort of like traveler's hat, and she pulls it down, and like the lenses are they're not kind of standard goggles, because the lenses appear to be made of like a faceted gemstone, so they kind of protrude slightly. So like she looks to you, and suddenly it appears like she's got 10 eyes that kind of just looking in all different directions. And she looks at you, and there's this kind of genuine, kind of chaotic, frenzied energy. She nods and starts like inspecting it and kind of sniffing it, holding it to her ear, shaking it slightly. You know, she begins her investigations.
Leave me with that.
She nods, like she's lost to the world as she starts inspecting this orb. As she does that, the Aquan Sprite researcher that's in this party turns to the four of you and says, well, if we can't go the way we came, and that portal isn't working, could we trouble you with scouting ahead to see if you can find an alternate exit?
Well, we can certainly do that, but if we were to go ahead, this place won't change, will it?
All of the research that we've gathered on this place so far tells us that every time a group comes in, their space becomes set. And once everyone was to leave, then by the time every time a new group comes in, they're presented with a new layout. That's what we've discovered from our cartographers that have been in here before. But we've never heard of someone going in and having their layout, if you will, change whilst they've been in it. There must have been some sort of external factor that's changed something about the tower and fundamentally locked us in. Who's got the highest knowledge? Or are you all -1s?
I'm
-1.
I'm just a 0 on knowledge.
I'm also just a 0 on knowledge.
Okay. In which case, Vanya, like, as this Aquan Sprite's talking to you, Ravy, you're keeping a very close eye on Tree as she kind of starts investigating your orb. But Count Azakar, at the mention of this external factor, you can't help but glance down at the Croak that seemingly, like, based off what this researcher said, every time someone like new comes into a new group comes in, they get a different layout. But somehow Gerpel here has strong-armed his way into these tunnels while these people have been in here. And you can't help but wonder if perhaps Gerpel's intrusion is what's caused this place to change slightly. Gerpel is oblivious. He's eating another berry.
I think Gerpel must die.
Oh, he went to go.
You can't hear this.
Yeah, the Aquan Sprite.
Very no.
The Aquan Sprite kind of asks again. Yeah, if you're able to explore up ahead, because we're not any good in a fight. We frankly get in the way. But if you could scout ahead, make sure that everything's safe, and then if you manage to find an exit, you can come fetch us.
I think that seems reasonable.
We take Gerpel with us.
The
Remove him from the group.
The researchers kind of look to one another and then look at you a bit curiously. Gurple, mouthful of berry. Absolutely not, he says.
Well, we can't do anything sitting around. Why don't we just go ahead and see if we can find another exit?
Hey, which way do you think we should go? You're the hunter.
I point over to the route that at the bottom of the cliff that we climbed up. I point over towards the continuation around the bend that we didn't go towards. 'Cause I don't believe, unless correct me if I'm wrong, GM, that up here there's any other routes to explore.
You would be able to take a quick few seconds to realise that this kind of area of the cave, of the tunnels that the research team are in, is kind of, it's effectively a dead end. The only route away from it led to the portal. But yes, you're absolutely right. The direction you were travelling did carry on, and then you kind of peeled off into this this grove, this underground grove, much like it would seem the researchers did.
Yeah. So yeah, I point the direction that we've yet to continue up.
Sure.
And I say, shall we, team?
Mary's already looking
Sounds
over
good
the
to me.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I just start making my way, and I say as we're passing the researchers, I'll just say, sit tight and don't get into trouble while we're away.
The four researchers nod. Tree does not respond because she's currently, prodding and poking.
Just before we leave,
Yes.
Azakara is going to just take a handful of the water and just sort of rub it on his burn marks to sort of calm them down a bit.
Sure. And as you do, it feels surprisingly cool to the touch, and there's a slight kind of a pleasant tingly feeling that lingers.
Lee.
So as you stand on the 10-foot ledge looking down, there's that kind of stream of mana that you had to kind of get past on your way up, but from your elevation you're able to just clearly kind of vault over it and down the 10-foot drop to the other side, so you may absolutely just move your tokens down. And as you return to the tunnels that you were first kind of walking down, the tunnel continues on to a sort of a T-junction. You can see a ledge up on the left, as well as another ledge up 10 foot to the right. What it looks like Cal is point break. So what direction is Cal going in?
I think I would like to go straight ahead.
Okay.
Up that 10 foot. Yeah, I think that's straight ahead for me.
Sure.
Yeah, so are we gonna work together to get up 10 foot again? Like
There's nothing kind of untoward that would stop you, so feel free to just hoon yourself up it. There's enough handholds to get up there quite easily.
Cool.
In which case, as everyone follows in behind you,
Well, that doesn't look ominous.
Cal, you spy, and the others do as they enter, what appears to be another mana pool. But this one is significantly larger than the ones you found before. And unlike the others, this appears to... Well, this is a a dark claret with streams of dark purple, fiery orange. Azakar, as you kind of come around the corner and lay eyes on the pool, you don't know what it is, but you suddenly feel nauseous. Rayri, as you regard the pool, you get the same kind of feeling in your stomach that you felt when you realised that the magic around the portal felt sick. And as you like this, the manor itself kind of seems a lot more viscous than the pools you've seen before. It's not like pools of Arcane Manor are bad, but there's something about this. It's almost blood-like. What do you do?
I don't like this. I don't like the feeling of this at all.
No, neither do I. moving
GM,
away.
does it look like you can go around that edge there, or is that submerged as well up here?
So you notice that there's a slight incline north of you. Rayri, you spot that there are some, like, there's an incline to the west of you. But yeah, it looks like you could go round. But as you, like, Vanier, as you kind of look left and right, your hunter senses, your slightly kind of enhanced senses, you kind of tune into the feeling of you're being watched, observed.
There is something here.
As you kind of look left and right, Vanier, like, you glance at the manor, and based off your kind of your natural foraging skills, this blood red manor, it's like stagnant water. It's tainted somehow. Like, this manor has gone bad, but you're not sure what's polluting it.
Do I see from this point where what's coming into this pool? Is it something that's coming from the ceiling? Is there streams coming into it that might be showing like a route to where this pollution might be coming from, or is it seeming like it might be something from underneath?
As you look at it, you notice that there are no streams running to this collection of mana like the others. The others were, for all intents and purposes, naturally formed ponds, like pools, if you will. But this, you can't really see any drips coming down from the ceiling. There's no streams running to it. You just get the feeling that this shouldn't be here, or it wants to be here.
I kind of look to the others and I say, considering what we fought before, obviously something's tainted in this pool. I think there's a monster to hunt. As Vanya gets a little excited about the prospect of beating something up.
What's everyone making of that?
I think Cal's nervous. I think this is not ordinary. And he's seen quite a few things. feel like his instinct is to keep away, to find an exit, to move on, to not engage. But if they're being watched, he's also feeling ready to fight if he has to.
Azakar, the feeling of nausea is not abating, but what are you doing?
Trying to push through the nausea. Azakar is gonna. I think you're right on some sense. I think if we don't find it first, it will find us.
In response to that, you see slight gusts of wind and a slight chill in the air as there's a clenching of gauntlets underneath Vanya's cloak and a slight smirk coming across his face. Well, shall we try and coax it out?
I know you're eager, but approach with caution. I don't think this is anything we've ever seen before.
And I just take a step forward.
Okay. Vanier.
Does it seem like anything's reacting?
Vanier, Azakar. As the two of you begin taking steps towards this pool of bad mana, you notice that the surface of it begins, seemingly it begins to react, quivering almost. And the closer you get, Azakar, you notice that the surface of the pool appears to be becoming thicker, like it's congealing, until it forms what appears to be a relatively sturdy looking crystalline surface, much like a frozen lake. But it's not just that, because as this kind of crystallization spreads across the surface of the mana pool, it begins to form kind of 3D like shapes until it forms what appears to be the same stone room you saw when you held your hands to the portal crystal. And as you peer like across this reincarnation of the scene that you saw, but this time in hideous kind of life, dark blood red hues, you see 3 motes of light for a second time that begin to coalesce. 2 of them forming into what appear to be Asavar in long cloaks and hoods, wearing the regalia of Arcani wizards. The first what appears to be a male Asavar, the second a female Asavar. The light of the pool kind of reflecting off their semi-translucent features, before the third mote of light forms into a solid shape. And it is a winged dragon scent with large curving horns rising from the sides of his head, flames flickering from his hands. And this time, the dragon scent looks directly at you, Azakar, and says,
I don't know who you are, but you have intruded on my sanctum, and that I cannot abide.
And as the wings flare out and the two mages move into flanking positions, we'll call it there and go for a quick break. Cool. So, yeah, we will see what happens then. If you're enjoying it, make sure to hit the like button, comment down below, comment what you think is happening, and if you at all recognise anyone that's just appeared on screen. I know Nate does. Otherwise, we will be back in 15 minutes. See you then. Bye 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 bye. Hello. Well, what a comment in the chat to come back to. Hi, Beef. Hi. Hello. I'm DM Dan, and we are the Explorers of Elsewhere, and we're playing live. We're currently nostrils deep in Tales from Elsewhere, our Daggerheart playthrough. Our adventurers, our explorers have been spelunking through a mysterious set of cave-like tunnels. They've in search of a research team that's gone missing. They've found them, but it would seem that they cannot go from whence they came and must now find an alternate exit. But in doing so, in looking for that alternate exit, they have found bad stuff. Which is slightly blocked from line of sight by some terrain. But they found a large pool of what appears to be corrupted, tainted mana. And what appears to be... you know what, I'm gonna kill that wall. There we go. What appears to be 3 kind of manifestations of... wizards from the war between dragons that concluded 18 months prior. It appears to be 2 wizards, 2 mages, and then 1 leader of a sort, some self-important gentleman of a dragon-sense disposition. But yes, as the flames from the dragon-sense back splay into a kind of a mockery of wings, and fire ripples from his claws up to his wrists. We will... what did we decide on for the Daggerheart alternative to roll?
The action tracker's in play.
Let's... Okay. So, as the flames lick up from his back, the action tracker is in play. Bum 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 bum. Who is as we turn on the battle music, who is going first? As these 3 figures kind of prepare for a skirmish with you, seemingly stood atop some hardened, crystallized well, the mana pool seems to have hardened and crystallized into a kind of a simile of a stone crypt or temple or shrine or of some sort. Yeah, who's going first?
I would like to go first.
You would like to go first.
That? Yeah. As a car, hearing this booming voice, from the looks of like people who resemble people who he was a prisoner of for a few years during the war, he is going to feel like a surge of rage from that, a surge of duty as well. He is going to... How far can I go?
So you can go 6 base, so that's far. You can make an agility roll to go further.
Yeah, I'll make an agility roll to go further.
Okay. So I think it's going to be a combination of like how well you roll, whether you roll with hope or fear. We're going to say, so this will be an agility 13 arena.
That is with a +1 as well, so that is going to be going to be a 16 with 17, yeah, but with fear.
17 with fear. Okay, so you are able to do it. So you can move like 12 squares, basically.
Okay. I'm actually going to no, I won't. So sorry, say that again.
12 squares. So double move.
12 squares. So, for some reason, my thing's not coming up anymore. For some reason, I can't see the squares. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay, so everyone else, you catch your breath for a moment as you watch Azakar like rush towards the edge of the mana pool, and there's a small leap as you leap from the edge onto the hardened crystallized surface. You can see that there is still liquid mana beneath this, much like the surface of a frozen lake, but it seems sturdy and doesn't kind of crack underfoot or anything. But yeah, you barrel towards the glowing figures in front of you.
And I am going to, as Azakar is running towards this dragon scent, especially, he is, you can see like his hands starting to crack as he is producing another bolt beacon, as he sort of screeches to a halt and then just blasts it from his hand.
I will take a fear as an aside from your roll.
So
Yeah, go for it.
Spend a hope on that, and badoom. So that is that's a 10 plus 2. That's a 12. Let's see if there's anything else I can do. I'm going to spend another hope on that. I don't think it's going to do much, but I'm going to spend another hope on that, even though I get a hope from the roll. To put an extra 2 on that for Aya's soldier as well.
Okay, that seems very prudent right now.
To fight against sort of like this arcane being. Let's see what else I can do. No, I think I'll leave it at that. So that's only a 12. So I don't know if that's probably not going to be enough, but that's a 12.
Is it 12 total?
Oh, actually, no, it's a 14 total.
14 total. 14. Yeah. So it's a bolt beam, yeah.
A bolt beacon.
Bolt beacon. Paint me a picture.
So, yeah, as he sort of screeches to a halt, like far enough as he knows his training, like has taught him, this crackle of light that he has been conjuring with his hand is going to shoot out of his right palm, heading straight for the dragon scent image.
Okay, so as this kind of beam of divine energy rockets out towards the dragon scent, the figure sort of like stoops low, like into a more steady stance, and then as the beam is about to strike, these kind of fiery wings emanating from his back lunge forward and wrap round him like a cloak, and the beam kind of shatters across the flaming wings, and with a lofty sweep, the wings part, and the spectral figure in front of you, a face contorted in disgust, like kind of snarls at you.
You dare bring her magic here?
He says, as he then you rolled hope. I'm going to spend a fear to have him activate. So I go down to 2. As this figure sort of like lifts a hand up, and it's holding what appears to be a wand. So the corrupted echo responds with only a 3. Rolls that's a hearty nat 1. So the beam arcs towards you, and that also kind of shatters across your form, as the Aya's light protects you. the dragon scent snarls, and as he is relentless and may activate twice per GM move, he will then, like, the corner of his mouth tilts up in a snarl, as he says,
"It would seem I underestimated you."
And surprisingly, he surges towards you until he's in melee, and will use a fractured memory to the figure. So it rushes towards you. The wings like splay out as it lifts off the ground, and then hurtles back to like earth in front of you, landing with a thunderous slam. It's gonna make a d20 plus 2 attack against you as a car. A 15 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, you take 2d8 plus 10 damage.
Yes.
21 damage. As you're rocked off your feet and kind of collapse to the ground, you are also vulnerable, as this figure sort of like looms over you, and this kind of dark majesty radiates from its form. I'll give you the exhausted thing for now.
I'm gonna spend 2 armor slots because I'm guessing it's like a meets it beats it sort of situation that we're going with. And
Yep.
my severe damage like limit is 20.
Okay.
So I'm gonna spend 2 armor slots to get me down to 19, so I only take major damage instead.
Okay, so 2 hit points worth of damage. And yeah, so as this dragon scent kind of slams down and then stands tall, it lifts a hand and regards the other 3 of you still kind of on the shore.
"Look how easily you fall!"
He bellows. Who would like to go next?
Straight away, unless Cal or Ray reacts, like Vanier's just almost predator mode, just grabs the floor and just lunges like a wolf, just plowing. I'm gonna make an agility roll to try and get up in this guy's face next to Azakar.
Before you do it, this is going to be a live experiment. Bear with me for 1 second. If I...
How quickly can we kill Azakar?
If I roll everyone,
No.
I don't really need the rolls, but if I do this, did that work? Oh, it did!
Oh.
It did! There we go.
Oh.
There we go. So now we have a little glowy around Vanier. Cool. What's Vanier doing?
Yeah. Almost like he's running on all fours. The gauntlets, he propels himself forward, almost like the wind coming off the back of his gauntlets, like a speeding rocket towards this entity. As I will make an agility roll to see if I get there.
Okay.
And because I got the hope to burn, I would like to use my... Where is it? Details. I have an experience called Thrill of the Hunt.
Okay.
Where seeing this dangerous entity almost instills like a instinctual excitement of predator and prey within Vanier as he lunges forward towards this creature who he wants to best in combat. So I will spend a hope to use that, if that's okay, DM.
Yeah, that takes you down to 3.
And that will give me +2 to my agility roll. What's my agility? +1. Cool. Let's do this. Oh, plenty.
Yeah.
15 plus, so 16, 17, 18 with hope.
Ooh, yeah, that'll do it. So yeah,
I just
full
lunged
full
straight up.
12, and we'll give you your hope back. Okay.
Yes, I'm just gonna double check I'm full up on my. Yeah, I am. So, wait, am I? Yeah, I am. Yep. So I'm gonna take that hope because I can't take any more Slayer die.
Sure. So as you kind of leap from the shore as well and land on the crystallized like mana pool, oddly, as you're running across, you notice that the sort of like the haptic feedback that you're getting from the soles of your feet, it feels like you're running on stone, but to look at it, it looks like you're running on glass.
Okay. But yeah, you see in this moment, as I'm just double checking my abilities, which just making sure I haven't got anything interesting that I need to take a note of. It's been a while. Yeah, cool. So yeah, so basically yeah, as he's lunging forward, like wind and ice is just rocketing off these gauntlets, stone gauntlets, as he hurls himself next to Azakar, and with like an almighty leap, raises a gauntlet and like almost rocket punch towards this entity. And I shall roll to attack. I get a 3. Yeah, let's do this. Oh, come on. 8, 9, 10, 11 to hit. With hope.
Okay, so you'll get your 5th hope. But as you kind of swing this thunderous gauntlet round with a strong right, the dragon scent, like you up close, it's like it's a creature made of magma almost, but there's no kind of heat emanating from it, and there's like motes of moving light kind of floating within its form. But this dragon scent, for all of its seeming etherealness, there's certainly a very solid heft as the dragon scent reaches a hand up and catches your gauntlet with one flaming hand, and then like turns to look at you with these blazing yellow eyes.
Pathetic!
He spits.
Yeah, it's almost like fire and ice, like meeting each other in this moment, and Vanya's just smiling and snarling in this joy of battle, just ready to go again.
Okay.
When he can.
Who's going next? Gal or Rayri?
I'm happy to go. Rayri. He's like, oh, I guess we're doing this then, as the two of them just like absolute maniacs. And I'm going to spend a hope, and I'm going to use my ability, which is Natural Familiar.
Okay.
And what she does is she just kind of just goes into like one of her like lava space buns. She's just kind of like funneling around in there. She just takes out a little clump of lava and just like pops it on the floor, and it just goes and it just sprouts little legs, and it just starts running around like a little lava sprite.
Okay. I will find you a thing for that.
Where's my
what's it called? Natural Familiar?
Natural Familiar.
Okay.
Basically, I get an elemental.
Familiar. Okay. On the fly, everyone. This is DMing at its GMing at its finest.
Make a separate token. It literally just is like a little guy.
I can.
It's just a little guy.
A little guy. Just a little. Sure. Let's use this for now. Whoop. Cool. Nailed it. Nailed it. Okay, we're gonna make it's small, right? It's a small little guy.
It's a little lava blob.
Okay.
A little guy.
It's a little guy. Ready? Boop. Oh wait, no. Ready?
I like him.
Don't like him. Don't want that one. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Wait. I'm showing myself up. Natural familiar. And then I can just paste that in. Update. And then ready. Boop. Little fiery guy.
Can't see him.
Can you not?
I can't see him either.
No.
Can you not? You're right there.
Can see him on the stream. Can't see him on the.
How odd. Can you see? Oh, for goodness sake! Can you see that?
You can see
that.
Yeah.
I can see that guy.
But you can't see. You can't see the familiar.
No. No.
I can see something. I can see the natural familiar.
He's just running around.
Yeah,
No.
I can see
You
it.
I can see him on the stream.
How
I can't
weird.
See him on Aspen.
How weird.
I can.
Okay. Well, you're the owner of it, Livvy, now. So, you can't see.
Something you
He's
can't
right. He's
see.
right here. He's right here. You can't see him.
No.
It's a token. I can see where it potentially is.
How odd. How
But yeah, it runs.
how bizarre.
It
Okay.
doesn't
Well,
come up with anything. It's just.
okay. Well, you can tell me where he's going.
Yeah, anyway, just gonna follow me around. Like he's just my little mate.
Oh, okay.
So, with that, she mounts Vinny, and they will charge into battle, all three of them. Vinny, Lava Sprite, and Rainy.
Sure.
So, agility roll. And can I? No, actually not. We'll see. Right. Oh, my natural familiar made a roll.
Okay. So
11.
11.
13 with fear.
11
Well,
with
plus 3.
fear. So you aren't. So basically, you aren't able to make the full distance. So, yeah, because it's DC. It's difficulty 13. So, like mounting up.
Funny.
We got a 13.
Oh, you rolled a 13.
Got
Beg my pardon. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of things. I'm trying to get you a natural familiar that you can see. 13 is fine. You can move 12 squares. If you could move those 12 squares quite slowly, then it give me more time to sort this out. Natural familiar. Yeah. Go nuts. I'm a professional. Has your familiar got a name?
Lavi.
Love, yeah.
Bobo.
Gobbo, yeah.
Okay, does this work? Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that.
You can see
I
that?
can see
Right.
something.
Right. Well, I'm going to kill it. Okay, we can see it. We can see it. One.
Okay.
Update. Okay, ready? Boop. There he is.
Yay.
There it is.
Yay.
And then that
Fab.
needs to come out. And then I need to give you control so you can move it around. Boom. Done. Bish bash bosh. Juan Dollar, yes.
So, $1. I'm going to spend another hope.
So that'll take you down to 3, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To use my Ranger's focus on when I make wait. Spend a hope to make an attack with your weapon on a success. You temporarily make that target your Ranger's focus. Along with doing okay. So I will spend a hope as long as this works. I'm going to use my crossbow.
Are you going to use crossbow whilst in 5-foot range of this entity?
So basically, I have to shoot him with my Ranger's focus, and then he gets stress every time I make an attack. So I kind of need to attack him first. Get my Ranger's focus going.
But does the Ranger's focus have to be something you do in melee?
No, not necessarily.
Because I'm guessing, is there a form of like disadvantage for being up close?
That's what I'm.
I don't know.
That's what I'm.
Yeah,
I believe so. Let me just double check.
I'm so not used to playing a Ranger.
Memory through range.
I would sing the countdown theme tune, but I'll probably get demonetized.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I can do something else. I'll look it up once I've for this.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm going to use my elemental breath, and I'm going to just blast out some fire.
Some fire. Okay, so sorry, I'm back in the room now. So you, on the back of Vinny, you've leapt onto the glassy substance as well. Vinny is making some somewhat discontented noises because he's running on bad juju.
Yeah, we don't like.
But yeah, as you approach, this dragon scent is kind of holding Vanier's fist. Azakar is kind of like down on one knee in front. But yeah, the dragon scent seems largely distracted.
Fab. Actually, I'm going to change what I'm going to do. Vinny's going to bite him.
Okay.
Fabulous. So Vinny is going to fight. Is going to bite him. No, it's not going to get him. It's
I'm not having great rolls at the moment.
No, we're doing shit.
We're rolling real bad.
So, in which case,
10.
A 10. Well, this figure, which is holding Vanier, like as you approach, at the last moment, the gaze, like the stare at Vanier, flicks to the left. As the dragon scent notices you coming, and Vanier, you find yourself fundamentally, like from the wrist, with a flick, with a strong flick, you're almost kind of thrown in the way of Rayri, and you, like, as you kind of, before you catch yourself, you body into the side of Vinny, and Rayri knocks Vinny and you kind of off balance, and you skit off to the side.
Yeah, I was looking for the rules of range, and I can't actually see it at the moment. But my plan was to do a tag team because I got so much hope, but I was too busy looking at the rules.
That's alright. I'll have a little look. Can I get a hope? I rolled with hope.
Yes, you can. So you're back up to 4. Very good, very good. Anything else, Rayleigh?
No, because Vinny goes in the place of me. So that is me done.
Okay. Next up is, well, I assume Cal. What are we
It's
going?
me. It's me. It's my turn. I'm watching all of my friends fail miserably hitting this dragon cell.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned. I'm also a little concerned that I'm not going to get very close because now everyone's surrounding this guy. But all I can really do is hit him either with a crossbow or with my sword. So, first of all, I'm going to do an agility roll and try and get a little closer. I also have an experience, which is lightning speed, which I want to use to add to my roll and spend my last hope, because I've only had one hope for a long time.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and get as close as we can to add that on to my agility, just to get me as close as I can get. So let's try that. So that should be, yeah, so hang on, my agility is +3, so it'll be a +5 essentially, whatever I roll, so let's go for it.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's 17 in total.
That.
So how close can I get?
So you can go 12. So when you drag your token, can you see the distance travelled?
Sure.
Trying to, yeah.
Yeah, I think. Oh, that's one. I think I can just get about here. Hang on, sorry. Not used to measuring for.
I mean, we can be a little bit loosey-goosey with it, give or take.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you were...
Yeah,
you were, here, so...
Cool. I was just going to try and get here.
You could go another 2 if you want. Another 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. So
yeah, you can get to there.
There. That's fine. Cool. Now the question is, am I in range to hit the git, or am I not in range to hit him? I'm within 10 feet, but my melee, so...
Yeah, close, not very close.
Not. So is that a no to hitting him, or is that a yes to hitting him?
That's a no to hitting, unless you can hit things at close, rather than very close.
It does not
Sorry.
say...
Sorry, unless you can hit things at very close,
to
not
me.
melee, yes. So, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. That's fine. In that case, can I do anything else? Cool. I don't think I can do anything else. Oh, I can get myself on the unstoppable feature. So once per long rest, you can become unstoppable. So I've got a die to mark it, just so I have it ready. So I'm on number 1. So whenever I deal more than 1 hit point, I add 1. I believe that's how it works, Dan.
Okay.
Because Dan is the only one here who's used unstoppable. So I'll check with him.
Oh yeah, sorry. What was the question? So I was trying to look up rules.
No, it's cool. I'm on unstoppable now. For my guardian.
So unstoppable. So you start on the lowest die. And it will count up each round when you make an attack.
Cool.
So
That's
you
fine.
count
So
it
let's
up
got
every
that
time you
set
make an
up.
attack.
So you're unstoppable
Awesome. 1. Okay, great. And that I think is all I can do at this moment.
Did you want to crossbow someone?
I could do. I could give it a go. Why not? Let's do that.
As Beef has pointed out, you need to show these millennials how to roll dice.
Apparently, I'm also a millennial and it's an older one. Or I don't know, actually. No, that's wrong. That's also wrong. I don't even know anymore. Let's try the crossbow. So that will be +2. So let's have a look and see what happens. I'm gonna so I'm aiming at Corrupted Echo here. I think I'm still close enough, or just far enough away. I'm not entirely sure. 12. So that's 15 +2, 17 to hit.
Is a hit.
Yay! Thank God. Okay, so that's 2d6 plus 1. Yeah, I just rolled with 2d6. So 3. So that's 4 points of damage. Yeah.
Okay, so that is minor minor damage. So that is 1 hit point. But as you kind of scoot around the corner with your kind of lightning speed, as you skid to a halt, like within the same fluid motion, the crossbow comes out, prepped and primed, and as you fire it, the crossbow bolt seeming like hits this dragon scent in the side of the head, and bizarrely, like the point of impact like flash crystallizes, and you watch as the crossbow bolt kind of shatters across this elemental's like skin, but the echo kind of rocks slightly, like releases Vanier from the impact, and then turns to face you. The range on a weapon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so from all the information I was looking at on the rules, there's nothing at all stating about
Point blank in the face.
so anything. So the range of a weapon is anything within that range bracket, and it doesn't give you disadvantage being up close to someone, apparently.
Double thumbs for point blank crossbows.
So,
boo, 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 boo. Okay, yeah, fair play, fair play. So Rayri is exactly where she needs to be.
Yeah,
beautiful. Okay, in which case, yeah, this crossbow shatters across the side of the Echo's face as its skin crystallizes under the impacts, and then, like, as it turns to you, Cal, you notice that spot is still crystallized, and like it's almost as if the impact has forced this kind of metamorphosis. So whilst the rest of it is somewhat kind of fluid, and looks like a conglomeration of moving mana, this one spot now seems solid. Anything else, Cal? Was that it?
Can I just gain a hope, because even though I spent a hope, I now gained a hope from my agility roll as well.
Yeah, I popped you back up to 1.
Okay, wicked. That's great news.
And then you rolled another hope with your attack roll, so yeah, you got up to 2.
I did. Yay!
Boom! 2 hope for Cal.
That's news. Thank God. Yeah, and that's all I can do at the moment, but I'm ready. Like, I feel like once he's done the crossbow, he will prepare to get out his sword for close range.
Sure.
For his next go. But yeah, that's...
Well, that next go is going to have to wait a while, for the GM is spending a fear to activate, to interrupt. So, Cal, as you kind of draw your sword, and the echo kind of rocks from your crossbow bolt, like in this sonorous roar, the dragon scent shouts, "Aid me!" And the two mages, the two echoes of mages in the background kind of immediately spring to action. So I'm gonna use one of these action tokens to activate one of the mages. The first one, what appears to be the Ace of Our Man, looks to you, Cal. Realistically, you've done the best so far, and you feel this. You suddenly feel really kind of heavy and lethargic, and through your experiences in the war, you know that you've been afflicted with some sort of magical malady of sorts. So let's put a poisoned on you. So you are cursed. So if you make any rolls with hope, this mage can spend a stress to instead make you roll with fear.
Okay.
The other, that's an action. The other will do the same on Rayri. So Rayri and Vinny, you are both cursed. Oh, there's actually a curse thing. Okay, we'll use that. So yeah, the two of you are cursed. So if you roll hope, I can spend stress to instead make you roll with fear instead. That'll be their turns. Then the corrupted echo, now that you're all handily gathered around, will attempt to cast another spell from its fractured memory. So I'll mark a stress to roll a... Okay. Oh boy. As these two curses kind of reach out and enshroud Cal, Rayri and Vinny, the dragon scent kind of, with a bell, like a buffet of its wings, kind of launches into the air, and spreading his arms wide, a fan of flame explodes out towards all of you as you're all within close. I need to make attacks against all targets within close range. So, rule keeper PC Dan, is that one roll against everyone or one roll per person?
One roll against everyone.
Okay. In which case, the corrupted echo is going to roll a 19.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Okie dokie. So everyone will take 8 damage.
I'm going to spend an armor slot to reduce that by 6.
Okay.
And then I'm going to chance that point of damage because of my thick skin racial feature. I got to roll a d6, and if I roll 5 or more, I don't take that damage.
Okay.
1 point of damage. So I'm just gonna roll my d6 now. Where are you? Bam. Nope, I still take it.
Toasty Vanier. Okay, so everyone else, yeah, mark off your armors as and when. Was it minor damages for all of you, or did some of you hit major?
So I'm taking an armor slot, which I believe then reduces my damage to under 8, so I mark 1 damage,
Okay.
I believe.
That's the same with me. I'm going to mark stop. Just
Yeah.
take 1.
Okay, so you've
minor.
all basically taken 1 hit point. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
In which case, yeah, so arms wide, the flames kind of roaring like past and over you. The figure sort of like the wings kind of flapping to keep it aloft, bellows, "You should never have come here!" And using Relentless for its second one, it's going to spend another stress to cast another spell. Okay, cool. As it says that, it reaches... The echo reaches out. All targets within close range must make a presence reaction roll. And it seems that this guy is going for broke, so I'm just gonna overcharge that. I'm down to 2 of 6 stress remaining. But anyone who fails will take 2d8 plus d10 plus 10 magic damage that can't be reduced by armor. As this echo, seemingly at the height of his power, reaches into your minds to rend them. So, presence rolls, please. you don't get like hope. No, reaction rolls. You don't. Get
No,
hope and
reaction
fear on.
rolls don't get
Don't count.
hope or fear.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so Azakar rolls 12 plus something.
Well, it will be. I've got -1 in presence, so my one actually goes to a 10.
Ew. Okay, an 11. Give yourself some good.
I'm wondering if I could do something because I feel like I might die. I'm going to use my Seraph Hope to spend 3 hope, and I can either re-roll my prayer dice or refresh one of my used prayer dice. I'm going to spend. No, that's not going to be enough. Because I was going to.
Do you not have armor? Oh no, we can't use armor slots, can we?
No. That is. I don't think there's a lot I can do. I think I'm going to have to.
How many hit points are you on?
I've got 2 left.
Okay.
So you've only got to get over a 9, and I'm.
I see. What's Cal rolling for the ye old presence?
Sorry, it'll be a +0.
Yeah.
But I do have the when you make a presence roll against a hostile target, which is technically the same. You can spend a hope to add your strength trait to the roll, which will make it a +2. So I think it's probably wise.
Spending a hope, yeah.
So yeah, so we're gonna see if that makes a difference. So I'm gonna roll this and add +2. Thank God. Okay.
Okay.
I think I'm okay.
So we have a 16 from Cal. We have a 9 from Rayri, or is it higher?
What range are you?
Currently we are like in melee. But bear in mind, you could be not in melee because you didn't have to be up close to attack.
No, it's not that. It's one of my abilities is I can mark a stress and increase my invasion if it's beyond melee range. But you're not.
But it's not. It's a react.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that wouldn't apply. Rayri's. So Cal has passed. Vanya has passed. Azakar and Rayri, you have not passed. So you're gonna take 2d8 plus d10 plus 10 for a grand total of 28 magic damage.
And I can't use an armor slot, so I'm going to take 3 hit points.
Azakar.
I'm just having a look to see if there's anything I can do. I think there is. I think that's all my hit points gone.
Azakar. Azakar.
I got the death move rules up ready.
Yeah. So have I. So, Azakar, as this dragon scent this manifestation of this dragon scent looms over you, buffets you all with flame, and then seemingly the mana dives into you, like pierces into your very minds. As you feel the world kind of slipping away from you, you can choose one of the 3 options. Blaze of Glory. You embrace death and go out in a blaze of glory. Take 1 action at my discretion that becomes an automatic critical success and then cross through the veil of death. You can avoid death and face the consequences. You roll your hope die. If the value is equal to or under your level, you gain a scar. You also drop unconscious temporarily. You may not move or act while you're unconscious. Or you may risk it all. You roll a duality die. If you roll higher on your hope, you stay on your feet and you clear an amount of hit points and or stress equal to the value of your hope die. If your fear die is higher, you cross through the veil of death. If they're hide and you crit, you stay on your feet and clear all hit points and stress.
Yeah, it cut out
Unfortunately, I
then.
didn't hear that last
So if you
bit.
get a crit, you get all your hit points and stress
Yeah.
cleared. So
Yeah.
basically,
So,
fully.
Blazing Glory, you get one action that'll be an automatic critical success. Avoid death, and then you may get a scar, or you gamble.
Yeah.
If your hope is higher, you live.
Does the
If you're-
duality dice thing that you got work for this?
What do you mean the duality?
I
Dice? You mean-
thought you had like a die thing that you could swap for.
Well, yeah. Do your prayer dice just work on duality rolls?
No.
Okay.
They only work on increasing rolls. I can. Oh, actually, let me see. There was something. Let's see if this will work. Does it say anything about anything I can use along with?
I think the risk it all is literally like
I
you're
can't
rolling
use
the
any.
dice, so it's a 50-50 chance.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, you just compare his hope higher.
You may clear an amount of hit dice and or stress equal to the value of your hope die. How would you like to divide up that 9 you've just rolled?
I think I'd like to get rid of all of my all of my HPs. So
Yes.
that will go down, and I've only got 1 stress, so I'll clear that 1 stress as well.
Okay. In which case, like Cal and Vanya, you watch as sort of like Rayri and like you feel the mental assault from this echo, this mana echo, and you watch as like Rayri and Azakar are bowed by the sheer oppressive force of it. But then you watch as... Well, Nate, tell me what it looks like as Azakar defies the oncoming of death.
He's gonna see that fire, that red fire, sort of blaze across his whole body. He's felt surging like fire burn his skin before. He's gonna, with all his might, he's tuning into his devotion to divinity, his devotion to Aya, and pray that he wishes to continue to fight. He'll feel like a glow sort of come through his whole body as he can feel himself sort of open his eyes again, as he hasn't quite crossed the veil yet.
Okay. And yes, you feel this surge of hope like rise through your chest as you surge back to your legs, back to your feet, and I'm out of actions. So who would like to go next?
How do I get out of being vulnerable? Or maybe because I was almost dead, can I not be vulnerable anymore?
Yeah, so if it has so the vulnerable condition, sometimes the thing that inflicts the vulnerable condition has a trigger to end the condition, which makes the vulnerable condition that you've received a permanent vulnerability. If there's nothing stating on that ability,
yeah, so you're vulnerable until your next roll with hope, and you know what? You just rolled hope. Azakar.
Yeah, dude.
There we go then.
Okay, you surge to your feet. You are no longer vulnerable. I think it's Azakar's turn. Don't we all?
Mm-hmm.
He'd like that.
Get him.
Game.
I'm swimming in hope, so if you want a tag team moment as well.
Yeah.
You have 10 hope between you. Please do a tag team.
let's do a tag team then.
Yeah.
As Azakar sort of raises back up to his feet, he's gonna turn to you, Vanya. What would you like to do? I was thinking of doing something with my scimitar, so.
I think it'll be very much a
How about because my weapon is imbued with divinity. How about I give you a little bit of divinity into your
the gauntlet?
Yeah.
Oof.
And then we just go
Yeah,
together.
both like together punch this dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So both of you, who's spending the 3 hope? Azakar.
So bear in mind, I'm spending it. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's Azakar's go. I'm interrupting his turn, so I'm spending the hope.
Okay.
I was going to say I don't mind spending the hope because I've got quite a bit as well.
Up to you, because if it's your go and I come in, I spend the hope.
Okay, you spend the hope.
Or no.
Do it.
Yeah, it depends. You could, if I went and you spent the hope, you could essentially go again after me if you wanted to like murder round.
I mean, it sounds like you could do that the other way around. Let's stick with it. It's Azakar's turn. Vanya spending the hope.
Yep.
Hey,
okay. So I take off 3 hope.
So down to 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick description of what you're doing, and then roll some dice.
Yeah. As Azakar sort of almost draws his blade, you see the sort of white light sort of flash across it. He can see Vanya sort of almost going up for a punch. He kind of scrapes the sort of side of the scimitar along the side of Vanya's gauntlet as it sort of passes by, to sort of imbued it for a short second with divinity, as then he sort of patches that round and also goes for a smack with it.
Okay.
And this is divine and primal magics working together against arcane.
Just like they did 6 months ago.
Yep. I, in this moment as well, would like to, because of this moment, is quite crucial. I will I would love to spend another hope to use my experience thrill of the hunt as like this tension and this like heightened scenario just fills Vanya with adrenaline as he goes for a killing blow. If that's okay, DM.
Yeah, absolutely. I've taken you down to 1 hope.
Yep. So that's gonna give me +2. So I mean that's a total +5 to hit. Cool. Let's do this. Bam.
Bam. Oh, it's a crit.
Oh.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
So doesn't that mean we both crit then? Because we take yours. We both.
Yeah. Why not?
I think. Let me just double check the rules, but I believe.
So, well, you'll both. Yeah.
Let me just.
Sure. Tag. Is it called
I
tag
think
team?
you take most damage, right? So you get max damage, both of you.
Beat.
That's what.
And you roll again on
Dice
top.
back, baby.
Hold on a minute.
You both roll damage as usual and then add it together to determine the damage dealt. So both of you make separate rolls, but before resolving, choose one of the rolls to apply for both of your results. So presumably you're both choosing the crit, so you will both roll crit damage.
With crit. Okay, so this gets interesting for me.
Okay. So right, so crits, just to be clear, are like max damage, and then you like roll again, don't you?
Yeah, so you max damage of so take the total value of each of your weapons die, or anything that gets added onto it, any damage from it.
Yeah.
Sorry, in terms of die damage, and then you re-roll those die.
Yeah.
Like properly.
So yeah,
add whatever you rolled onto the total value.
Cool. So yeah, Azakar and Vanya, if you both roll your damage die, and then we'll add max on top of that as well.
Okay. Bear with me.
So that is a 19 plus 1, so that would be 20.
Plus another 20.
Plus 21.
Well, so it's... Oh my goodness. So it's max die roll, so 20, plus 19, 39, plus 1 strength. So 40 damage from Azakar. And yeah, Vanya, can you beat a 40? So, that's the question.
Well, no. So here, listen, hear me out. So my arcane gauntlets are 2d10, so immediately that's 20.
Yeah.
I'm using both of my Slayer die, which adds an extra 2d6, so that's an extra 12. So that's 32.
Are they damage dice? Are they like weapon damage dice?
Yeah, they count as on top of the damage, the weapon damage die.
Okay.
So that is 32 already, plus what I'm about to roll, which is 26. So 32 plus 26 is 58.
So
added to Nate's damage as well.
For reference, this tag team has just done 98 damage.
Go on, he's dead. He's dead, Dave.
Now. Now. One would look at the Daggerheart rules and claim, well, I have a severe threshold of 20. Ergo, I only take 3 hit points.
No.
However, as we have reached almost 5 times severe damage threshold, I see a finger.
After severe, the next threshold to take 4 hit points is doubling the severe threshold. So if it's 20 severe, so if you hit 40, that's 4 points of health. Double 40 is 80, so that's 5 points of health. So we've managed to hit the 5 points of health.
May implement massive threshold that's double your severe. You thought. Okay. Cal?
Absolutely.
Cal? I know you've just rushed in and you've got your sword out and you're ready for a fight. But Nate and Dan, describe to me what happens here.
So, have you ever watched One Punch Man?
Describe to me how through this surge of divine energy you obliterate this corrupted echo.
I don't know if you want to add anything to this, Nate, but as your divine blade scratches against the primal gauntlets and imbues them with this blinding light, from like almost carrying over from your almost resurrection that you've just been imbued with your deity's divine power. The gauntlets themselves, reacting to that divine nature, just explode with primal wind and ice as this almost like hurricane fist barrels to this enemy and just almost like this like explosive like shredding icy wind just almost shreds and obliterates this creature's entire body.
And as you do that, just before the body sort of obliterates, you can see Azakar like literally swing his scimitar straight into the heart of this echo.
I can almost imagine the divine nature of that moment almost evaporates the arcane magic that holds this form together.
And as this body just before it obliterates, Azakar will lean in and says, "Aya's blessing wishes you peace."
Cracks like rupture under the sheer concussive force of your combined attacks. The manifestation in front of you fully crystallizes into a brittle glass-like structure, and cracks of light appear across its form. And just as you go to deliver that kind of like the concussive thud from your punch, Vanya kind of ripples outwards across its body, just separating chunks of crystal in different directions, like in a fan away from you. Azakar, your scimitar is already planted, like skewered through its chest where its heart would be. And you are face to face with this this crystallized memory of a dragon sent wizard from the past, and as you say those words, "Aya's blessing," the cracks reach up, like it detonate it, and it explodes away from you. The eyes, the stare at you, looking oddly thankful. The last thing that remains of it before it explodes into 1,000 shards. And as the memory shatters, so too do the memories of the two mages behind it. And as the two of you kind of drop and land to drop back to the ground, Azakar, what you all hear, this kind of echoey voice ripple through the cave.
I did it for you, Mavania.
And with that, the cave goes silent as the foul, corrupting presence is banished. What now?
As we drop to the floor from that, like, immense, powerful blow between us, after catching our breath, I immediately swing around to Azakar, and in like huffing and puffing, he's like, "We make a pretty good team, don't we?" And I reach out for a hand, like arm grab, to try and help him up.
Yeah, Azakar grabs your hand, and he says, "I could not think of a
of a greater ally. Thank you.
Cal stood in the corner, all by myself. Sorry, I derailed that emotional moment. Like as the two of you, Azakar and Vanya, as the two of you kind of affirm these pledges to one another, Cal and Rayri, your attention is caught by the sound of fast approaching footsteps, and you turn to see Tree, sort of like sprinting. Like you hear huffing and puffing, presumably she's climbing up that 10-foot ledge, and then you see her sort of like running to the edge of the mana pool, and like she stops, like proper like slams on the brakes to make sure she doesn't go face first into it, and then you see her she audibly says, "Ew." She looks around at all of this kind of corrupted, congealed mana, and then she looks up to the four of you, and I don't know if it has anything to do with what's just happened here, but the portal's activated.
Let us get off this. I'm looking down to see if the mana pool's starting to de-solidify.
It's getting a bit squishy underfoot, that's for sure.
Yep.
Right, let's go.
But you also notice as you quickly step off the the glassy surface that that sickly reddishness is seemingly like the pool is starting to lighten in colour, and by the time the four of you have made it back onto solid land and are beginning to make your way out, kind of following after Tree, you notice it seems to be reverting to the similar kind of light blue, magenta-ish hues of the other pools that you've seen in this cave. Yeah, seemingly cleansing itself of the taint, whatever caused that corruption. But yeah, Tree's wittering as the four of you kind of hurry back after her. It sounded like you were having a fight, and then we didn't really want to stick our noses in case we got in the way, but then we heard like a loud bang, and there was some roaring, and I think it sounded like you were like eating explosions or something, but I don't know. But yeah, then suddenly there was this kind of blast of light from the end of the tunnel, and the portals turned on.
We're just walking past her.
Sure. Yeah, you manage to, like, as you make your way back to the area, you can see that the other researchers and Gerpel have already kind of relocated to the end of that tunnel where the portal is now on. You notice that the crystal at its center now thrums with activity and life. The runic sigils around it that stabilize the portal are now like active as well, and a somewhat familiar kind of swirling vortex emanates up from the crystal. This looks like a fully functioning portal. Gerpel looks to you, and like seeing you approach, he claps. He slaps a hand on your thigh, Azakar.
I was poking and prodding it, and it just kind of flashed into life. I think I fixed it, he says. I don't know what you've lot found in the tunnels, but I think this is our route out, the Croat says.
He sort of pats the croc on the head and goes, "Well done."
You all notice as you gather round that bad aura that was emanating from the portal has seemingly gone, and Rayri, as you glance around, you also notice that the sort of like the withered roots that were kind of reaching out of the water up onto land, they seem to be kind of, there's almost like a colour seeping into the ends of them as they begin to sort of like grow, and it's almost like fingers reaching out towards the portal. And you watch as these roots, like creeping fingers, seemingly start to almost like begin to interact and manipulate the runic patterns on the portal itself. And as explorers who have used portals in the past, you can watch as it seems like the portal itself is being calibrated of a sort by these roots. Until the roots eventually kind of grow inwards and then seemingly start to sort of like grow down into the cracks of the portal, and there's a surge of energy, and the green light that emanates from it turns white. And yeah, wherever this portal originally led, it now leads somewhere else.
Well, that was weird. Shall we go?
I think it's that nice spirit that I saw. I think she's doing it. She obviously wants us to go somewhere nice.
And
I think anywhere is nicer than here.
As the four of you follow, the researchers begin kind of stepping into the portal, and one by one they're whisked away on ethereal currents. And as the four of you kind of watch to make sure they all leave safely, Tree is the last to go. The four of you step into the portal and are whisked away. Rayri, as the last to go, as you're about to step into the swirling miasma, you take a moment to glance over your shoulder, because you just have this feeling. And for a fleeting moment, you feel like you spot a young female keeper with a staff that looks surprisingly similar to a spear, that looks surprisingly similar to the one wielded by that young keeper boy in the forests. And as the world around you kind of shifts as the portal drags you away, you watch as this female keeper fades into motes of light. We fast forward to the sounds of cheer and mirth as tales of the rescue of the researcher team spread through the inn in the town of New Prosper. You can see a lot of the townfolk have arrived to have joined in to congratulate you, to welcome back the researchers, to inquire about the tales that you have kind of crafted in your short time here. Overseeing the celebrations is the large, gruff Lorivar man with the eye patch, Sheriff Comstock, you remember his name being, who's somewhat overseeing the party alongside Davindram, the mayor of the town. And after a particularly waffly speech as demanded by the citizens of New Prosper, Davindram thanks you for your service to the town. As the kind of festivities roll on, the portal at the back of the inn bursts into life, and through it steps a Laravar man, probably in his mid to late 30s, you would reckon. But what's bizarre is, despite his seeming kind of youth, he has a head of silvery white hair. Upon his forehead is a tiara with what appear to be magical gems. And some of you may have recognised this man from your time in Avermore. But as the Laravar steps in, looks around, you note that his clothes are particularly ornate and lavish. You see the sheriff spin round and...
Ah, Archmage, it's good to have you back,
Comstock says. And Archmage Meridius Redan steps forward and... Well, yes, I came as quickly as soon as I heard. I hear the researchers have been returned, and I suspect I have you four to thank for this.
Yeah, you could say that.
As the four of you glance upon this Laravar, you, whether or not you recognise him or not, you do know from his regalia that he is one of the Archmages, the Council of Archmages from Avermore. Potentially, this man would have been one of the brainchildren for the Explorers Initiative. And as he looks at you with these kind of cool silver grey eyes, he nods. There's a genuine smile upon his face. I'm very glad that you found the researchers. I hear that you found some quite peculiar circumstances within the tower. From what I understand, from what I've been told, these are quite troubling. This is quite a troubling revelation that Mana might have been corrupted. But I won't press you for details now. I'll let you enjoy the fruits of your labour here. Enjoy the hospitality of New Prosper. And then when you're ready, please return to Avermore so we can have a little debriefing. I suspect that what you've found out today may have repercussions on our future expeditions going forward. Threats that we might have to keep a close eye on. He looks to the sheriff again and... Comstock, always a pleasure to see you. And with that, the Archmage turns, steps back through the portal to Avermore. What are the four of you doing? So starting with Cal, what are you doing in particular as the folk of New Prosper kind of celebrate your victory?
I think he is quietly relieved that no one died and they got the job done. He's been mulling over the events of the fight as someone who is not has for quite a while now had no interest in divinity. It was interesting to him to see it again in play in the way that it was, and he's still processing how he feels about it. So he is just very quietly, probably having a few drinks, probably still has his resting frown face on, but it might not be as frowny. There may be some, faint smiles going on here and there at the festivities, but nothing to suggest that he's angry. Just he seems chill,
Sure.
And relieved everyone's safe.
In which case, as you're kind of taking in the party, if you will, with this kind of somewhat dour look on your face, from across the tavern, you spy the Wolfkin woman, Frinka, you remember her name to be, sat alongside the platinum-haired Asavar Milia. And the Wolfkin lady kind of spies you, is watching you with this kind of frowned face, and then she shouts, "Cheer up! You look as miserable as Comstock!" She shouts across the hall, and you hear like a "Enough, Milia" from the sheriff. But yeah, the Wolfkin woman sort of like laughs at Comstock's kind of indignation, and then she kind of leans back, puts her feet up on the table and an arm around the Asavar woman. Vanya, how are you feeling?
As the camera pans away from Cal, you probably see Vanya very much in the middle of the festivities, very much like, is clinking his tankard with everyone, regaling like in his very broken common way of telling a story that he may portray it, but yeah, he's very much like and then this big crystal thing came out of the weird, goopy, arcane muck. It was crazy! And then, like, clanking his drink, glug, glug, glug. Yeah, it's very much like spurring on the energy of the atmosphere.
As you're regarding this tale, perhaps unbeknownst to you, you're being watched very closely by two goblin twin brothers who are just trying to size up whether your story is more impressive than theirs or not, of the things you fought within the tower. Nock kind of elbows his brother Bok, and no, that sounds really good. You write that down. Well, yeah, mate. Yeah, get that. Yeah, crystal. Yeah. Yes, yeah, as you're kind of the rest of the patrons are enthralled by your story. Rayri, what are you doing?
Rayri is looking for Tree so she can find her orb.
Yes. Well, Tree, in fact, has been sat next to you, sort of like tongue out, still manipulating it. So fundamentally, all she's been doing is sort of like turning it over, poking it, shaking it, trying to twist certain things. And she turns to you with this look of sheer kind of frustration on her face. And I need my tools. I'll tell you what. When you lot are ready and you're heading back to Avamore, I'm going to come with you. I'll bring this to my workshop, and then we can try and figure this out properly. Because I mean, I'm not saying that these people are, they've just got no tools to use. How can a place like this get by without anyone they haven't got it. She's getting frustrated to the point where she can't even get her words out, and then she kind of goes back to like someone in our world struggling with a Rubik's cube.
Just kind of like, what do you think is in it? Is it like sweets or like, I don't know, what's it?
Tree kind of stops. She lets out a big huff, and I mean, I need to make sure for certain, but this thing, I think it's a beacon.
I would have something like a prize.
Well, you never know. You never know what it's a beacon for, or a beacon to. Maybe it's like a compass.
Yes.
We'll know when we get back to Avamore, she says. She reassures you. Azakar, what are you doing? Given everything you've just witnessed.
Where did you say the portal back to Avamore was?
So it's at the back of the this tavern, basically. So it's the portal that the Archmage just arrived and departed through.
Okay. He's hoping not to catch anyone's eyes. He's hoping that everyone is sort of thoroughly enjoying themselves and distracted as he tries to head for the portal himself.
As you begin to slink away, you find your way blocked by the broad-shouldered, like old Lorivar sheriff.
You know, it's rude to leave without saying goodbye.
True. Very true.
But I also understand why you might want to. There are things that you can see in a place like that that can rattle you, can really shake you. But I think that can also be something that steels your resolve. Really confirm a path that you need to take. Let you make decisions you never thought you could.
I acted impulsively. I acted in rage. And it almost got me killed.
The Lorivar straightens and...
Yes. I know of the rage you speak of.
And as he takes a drink, you notice that his gaze for a moment turns to look out of the window of the tavern to glance at the statue outside.
But sometimes that impulsiveness, that's really just a measure of how much we give a damn. And it's that drive that you need to hold on to.
I wish to hold on to that drive, but it needs to be controlled. That has always been my way. That has always been my training. This won't... Don't believe that I am running away from my duties. I just believe I need to reconnect with myself so I can fight again.
Comstock nods.
As long as you make sure that you still believe that when the time comes to return, you'll be good.
He sort of like gestures with his tankard at the other three around the inn.
They seem like good people. They'll be ready for when you're ready.
They are exceptional allies, and I will be very lucky to fight with them again.
The Lorivar kind of gives you a smile and a nod. And,
if you excuse me, I have to find that poxy deputy of mine.
And as the Lorivar kind of steps out of your way, seeming like he gives you a wink with his one good eye, and then seemingly it seems almost as if he's doing it to draw attention away from, like, draw attention to him. He kind of walks to the other end of the inn and shouts,
"Has anyone seen Victor?"
he says. And the rest of the three of you, like, you hear the outburst from the Lorivar, and all eyes kind of turn to Sheriff Comstock. But did any of you see Azakar slink away? Perhaps Cal, from your quiet corner?
I think Cal's pretty observant. I think he would have noticed. And I think he would have respected if Azkar needed to go.
Sure.
Cal is not a man of many words, but I think he will miss Azakar's presence in the group very much.
In which case, yeah, as Azakar steps through the portal to the gleaming streets of Avamore, and the rest of you tuck into a well-earned night of celebration. On the sounds of the seashore kind of lapping at the sand is interspersed with the sounds of gurgling of a gaggle of Croak. And with his hands on his knees, an elderly Lorivar man with his trouser legs rolled up is stood in front of him saying, "Okay, we will try this again. My name is Victor Kasprezak. And you are..." And four sets of Croak eyes just stare at him. And then a voice rings out. "You will have to excuse my wayward brethren. They are not gifted with the gift of vocabulary." And Victor slowly turns his head to regard Gerpel. "Could it be? Could it be? A talking croak?" And Gerpel strides forward. "Yes, I do not know what cruel fate, what fortuitous fates have led me to be able to converse with you, but I have seen and admired you for many years." And Victor's face glows with joy. There are so many things. And Gerpel starts to retch. "What I'm trying to say is, and the Croak vomits up what appears to be a small mana crystal, which bloop, falls into the water. And Victor, a bit surprised, looks down and... "Yes? What is it you need to tell me?" And Gerpel, just one eye, looks at Victor, and he responds, "Oh. Oh. Oh." And then he sits down in the water as the sea washes past him. And there's a scrunch of the face. And then a mal-coloured stain begins spreading through the water. And Victor... "Oh. It was worth a try," he says, as he slowly backs out of the poo-stained sea. And as the elderly Lorivar walks back up to the town, as the sun begins to set over the horizon of New Prosper, we will call it there. Congratulations, everyone, on completing Tale 1.
Yay!
Hey!
Yay.
You did it! You did it.
Didn't die.
You didn't die. Oh my god, you didn't die in the most dramatic way possible. Yeah, I mean, it's the first. What a way to showcase the death mechanics or not the death mechanics of Daggerheart. So it would seem, yeah, absolutely aced it. Cool. So, yes, we are done with this story. But Tales from Elsewhere is not complete, because that was only Tale 1. And we will be moving swiftly on to Tale 2. How about that? How novel is that, eh? Yes, I'm excited to see what I can conjure up for some of these beautiful lot. Is it public? Are we making it public?
Might as well make it public. Yeah.
Sure. Well, the next time you see us, we will have a change in the lineup. Such is in a sense, almost the point of Tales from Elsewhere, in that it's quite, it's a bit of a one in, one out, like a revolving door of characters, just to have lots of people kind of show their faces and have a good time. But we are saying goodbye to you, Nate, for the immediate future. Azakar's got some questions to answer, some things to ponder. Hopefully, we fully expect that we'll see Azakar again in the future. But we will have a new guest filling Nate's lofty shoes on the next stream. I think that's it. What are we? Yeah. Are there any shout-outs you want to give, Nate, before we call it quits?
Yeah, we might as well shout out that Pride Cafe is coming up. So Pride Comic Art Festival. It's a comic art festival that me and Chris, who has also been on the channel, we run it. It is a dedicated comic art festival to LGBTQIA creators. It's happening in Bristol on the 21st of September. It's open from 11 AM until 5 PM, and it is absolutely free to enter. And we have over 60 different creators coming this year. So please do come along if you can and spend your money buying some amazing stuff.
And
great stuff.
Yeah, 100%. We here at Explorers of Elsewhere can confirm that it is awesome. It has been previous years and it will be this year. So yeah, absolutely come along if you're in the neighbourhood, or even if you're not, just have a day trip. Cool. Well, tell you what, let's turn off the funny music and let's go for the outro. If you enjoyed this, make sure to hit the like button and comment down below on what you would like the kind of the themes, the ideas for Tale 2 to be, and yeah, if there are any kind of absolute bangers of suggestions, then quite possibly you can see that come to life. To see Tale 2 and everything beyond it, as well as all the other stuff we're doing, Campaign 2 that's got Nate and others in, we've got one-shots coming up, there's live streams, we're playing Fallout London that I'm a voice actor in, loads and loads of stuff. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications when we release new content, because there's just so much. So, with all of that in mind, thank you all for watching. Thank you four for playing. You've been a delight, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.